I bought a weird toy from the dark web and now a killer is chasing me. Part 1. Hey Reddit, I don't usually post stuff like this, but I seriously need help. I'm in a situation that sounds like it came straight out of a horror movie, and I don't know what to do. It all started about a month ago when I decided to buy something off the dark web. Yeah, I know, stupid, right? But I've always been curious about that kind of stuff. You hear all these stories, and part of you just wants to see if there's any truth to them. So there I was scrolling through various listings, most of them fake or ridiculously overpriced. Then I came across something that caught my eye, a toy. But this wasn't just any toy. It was an old creepy looking doll with a cracked porcelain face and empty eyes. The listing was vague, just saying it was a rare antique with a mysterious past. The seller had a weird username, something like, Whispering Shadow 666 days. In hindsight, I should have taken that as a red flag, but curiosity got the better of me. I placed the order, and a few days later, the package arrived. It was wrapped in a black cloth and tied with a red string. When I unwrapped it, the doll was even creepier in person. Its eyes seemed to follow me wherever I went. I shrugged it off, thinking it was just my imagination. I put it on a shelf in my living room, and that's when things started to get weird. At first, it was small stuff. I'd come home from work and find the doll in a different position. Sometimes its head would be turned, or it would be lying on its side. I live alone, so there was no one else who could have moved it. I figured I was just being paranoid and tried to ignore it. But then the nightmares began. Every night, I'd have these vivid dreams where the doll would be standing at the foot of my bed, staring at me with those empty eyes. In the dreams, I couldn't move or scream. I was completely paralyzed. I'd wake up in a cold sweat, the feeling of dread lingering long after I opened my eyes. One night, I woke up to the sound of something moving in my living room. My heart was pounding, but I forced myself to get out of bed and check. When I got to the living room, the doll was gone. I searched the entire apartment, but it was nowhere to be found. I tried to convince myself that I must have misplaced it, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. The next day, I came home from work and found the doll sitting on my bed. There was a note pinned to its dress with a rusty nail. The note was written in what looked like dried blood and read, "I see you." That was the final straw. I grabbed the doll, ran outside, and threw it in the dumpster. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, the doll was back on my shelf, its porcelain face cracked even more, and its eyes seemed darker. I called the police, but they couldn't do anything. They told me it was probably a prank and suggested I install security cameras. So I did. I set up cameras all over my apartment, hoping to catch whoever was messing with me. That night, I watched the footage live from my bedroom. Around 3 a.m., I saw something that made my blood run cold. The doll moved. It climbed down from the shelf, walked across the living room, and disappeared into the hallway. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I replayed the footage over and over, but it was real. Then I heard footsteps outside my bedroom door. Slow, deliberate footsteps. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911, but the line went dead before I could say anything. The doorknob started to turn, and I felt a chill run down my spine. I backed away, my eyes glued to the door. It creaked open, and there it was. The doll, standing in the doorway. But it wasn't just the doll. Behind it, I saw a figure. Tall, thin, and dressed in black. Its face was hidden under a hood, but I could see its eyes. Cold, soulless eyes that sent shivers down my spine. The figure pointed at me, and in a raspy voice it said, "You should never have taken what wasn't yours." I don't remember much after that. I must have passed out because the next thing I knew, it was morning, and I was lying on the floor. The doll was gone, and so was the figure. I checked the footage, but it was all corrupted. Every camera had stopped recording at exactly 3 a.m. I don't know what to do. I tried calling the police again, but they think I'm crazy. My friends don't believe me, and I'm too scared to stay in my apartment. I've been staying at a motel for the past few days, but I feel like I'm being watched. Every night, I hear whispers outside my door, and sometimes, I see shadows moving in the hallway. I don't know who to turn to or how to make this stop. I just know that I'm in serious danger, and if anyone has any advice, please, I need your help. I can't keep living like this, and I fear that whatever is after me won't stop until it gets what it wants.